their father was never involved or try to get involved once they become world champion and they start making money. So it's dope that my dad been with me from the start. I call my dad actually my shadow because, he don't say really too much. I want to fight somebody who's gonna get me up for the challenge. And they said, what about Tim Tszyu? And I look forward to that. I've been doing that since I was an amateur fighting in other people's countries.
Spence's hand remained motionless while his eyes locked onto Tim Tszyu in an ice-cold stare-down that sent shockwaves through boxing. This wasn't casual pre-fight theatrics, but a complete rejection of respect, leaving Tsyu's outstretched hand suspended in humiliation. The hallway tension was suffocating as Spence delivered a wordless declaration of war against an opponent who'd been trash-talking about ending his legendary career. Every disrespectful comment from Tszyu had been cataloged and stored, fueling Spence's motivation to levels unseen in years, signaling this wasn't about a simple comeback but total annihilation. Nuclear-level trash talk has erupted with Tszyu calling Spence straight-up trash, words that cut deep and shifted the entire fight landscape. Originally scheduled to face Jermell Charlo in a massive domestic showdown, Spence's target completely changed when Tszyu's disrespect crossed the line from promotion into personal insult. This transcended business into genuine warfare, with Spence determined to silence a loud contender who thinks he can skip the line without consequences. Having fought internationally since his amateur days, hostile crowds and foreign soil don't faze the unified champion who thrives under pressure. His heavy bag work demonstrates machine-like precision with blistering speed and surgical combinations, each strike visualizing Tszyu's destruction while Derek James refines his explosive footwork and positioning to championship frequency.
I take care of myself, so I'm able to take care of them and just loving them. And that's why I have training camps at home, so I can spend more time with them. And
Sean Porter and boxing insiders have witnessed firsthand the increasingly personal energy surrounding this matchup, noting significant shifts in body language during media events and press conferences. The refused handshake and lingering stares reveal genuine animosity brewing beneath the surface, creating an atmosphere that transcends manufactured promotional beef into authentic dislike. This isn't friendly competition where fighters respect each other afterward, but a collision of legacies and egos between two men destined for greatness who view each other as obstacles. Even casual fans can sense the intensity building with each interaction, making this potentially the most genuinely heated matchup of the year, driven by real contempt and an overwhelming need for mutual respect.
Life is about consistency, right? And so, regardless of who or what, one fighter was consistent, the other fighter wasn't, or whatever the case may be.
Paulie Malignaggi offers a business-focused perspective, noting this fight makes perfect sense under the PBC umbrella, with aligned politics and optimal timing for a massive showdown. However, he raises crucial questions about what remains mentally and physically for Spence after years of high-level wars, brutal training camps, and championship toll. Tim Tszyu's team faces criticism for poor career trajectory management, walking him into tough fights on short notice without proper preparation time. This represents two men at critical crossroads where the winner advances toward another title shot and mainstream relevance, while the loser potentially faces an uncertain future filled with questions about reaching those heights again.
That's what we train for, right? So that's what you gotta take into understanding. I mean,
the crushing strategy specifically targets Tszyu's natural aggressiveness and forward-moving style, exploiting his relentless pressure and high-volume punching through Spence's precision counter-punching ability. Derek James believes surgical accuracy over raw aggression will neutralize the Australian's reckless abandon, using speed drills designed to beat Tszyu to the punch with calculated timing. Establishing rhythm early allows Spence to control pace and tempo, forcing critical mistakes that can be capitalized upon in this tactical chess match within violence. This surgical approach represents where James truly believes victory will be determined.
Of course, Errol didn't train for that type of
No, I don't know. He did train. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying because I can only see. I'm just talking about we're not taking anything from him.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. And it's not for me to be talking about what happened because I don't know.
Spence's return radiates genuine joy and passion noticeably absent in previous outings, expressing gratitude for boxing again while embracing the happiness of pursuing his life's purpose. This mental shift becomes a key component of the crush plan, as fighters unburdened by crushing expectations but driven purely by craft love become terrifying opponents. He's fighting for personal fulfillment rather than external validation, creating internal motivation far more powerful than any outside pressure. Derrick James deliberately nurtures this connection to joy throughout camp, ensuring Spence remembers why he fell in love with boxing originally, while maintaining that spiritual fire within. Physical conditioning footage reveals incredible shape despite the long layoff, completely debunking social media rumors about letting himself go during recovery time. His lean, muscular physique moves with fluidity, suggesting full recovery from past traumas, including the horrific car accident that nearly ended his life and career. James insists Errol trains as if his life depends on this outcome, taking zero shortcuts while displaying explosive athleticism and flawless rhythm that points toward elite competition readiness. He's not returning as a stepping stone for young lions, but to remind everyone why he was king and still belongs at the division's apex. Tszyu's confidence could prove his greatest asset or ultimate downfall if he underestimates a true champion's heart and determination after being counted out before. Spence has weathered doubts about his chin, stamina, and hunger while consistently emerging stronger from criticism and corners. Derrick James designed their plan to weaponize Tszyu's confidence against him, showing a faster, sharper, more focused version than who fought Terence Crawford to break the challenger's spirit early. This psychological warfare wages alongside physical combat in a battle of wills and mental fortitude that will determine supremacy.
One. Step in. One. Step in. One. Step in.
Spence's legacy hangs in the balance with full awareness that defeat would likely end his championship aspirations and time at the sport's pinnacle. Gym intensity operates at remarkable levels that impress veteran trainers as he seeks not just scorecards victory, but a defining statement replayed for years. He wants to crush Tszyu so decisively that no doubt remains about his place in boxing history among elite welterweights and junior middleweights of his generation. Derrick James pushes him constantly toward that extra gear and killer mentality that carried him through tough nights when odds seemed stacked against him. Anticipation reaches fever pitch throughout the boxing community as the fight date approaches, with fans completely split on the outcome between the active, hungry Tszyu and the more experienced, naturally powerful Spence with championship DNA. PBC's massive promotional support ensures global attention when these titans collide, with confidence, pride, legacy, and divisional future simultaneously on the line. Both fighters stand at pivotal career points, making this one of the most anticipated matchups in recent memory, with palpable tension whenever they share the same building. The countdown begins officially, with promotional machinery in full gear, building toward this heated, intense showdown.
Come get it. Come get it, going here. You say you was that. That was when you was on the one. Beautiful. Funny face, beautiful. See, you down back, look. Snorts. Boy, there you go. Let's go. Watch.
While the boxing world debates whether Spence retains his greatness, head trainer Derek James operates with surgical intensity and focus, sharpening what he believes remains the absolute best weapon at this weight class. Their crush plan isn't secretly guarded, but built on Midwest mindset and work ethic foundations, never underestimating challenges while training as if every opponent is the greatest fighter ever. They view Tszyu's recent wins not as deterrence, but systematic dismantling opportunities through relentless excellence pursuit, starting in dark morning hours when dedication truly reveals itself.
You heard Errol, you were trying to be respectful as you were staying the entire time, and then he came at you the way he came at you. How do you react to that?
Look, I've been brought up with humility and respect, you know, but I guess it doesn't work on both sides. That's fine, I see how it is. It's all good.
As you stated up there as well, you know, he brought up your father, that you're not your father's dad, and you said it yourself. It's been said in every single fight. Is that still something that kind of bothers you, that people want to bring that up?
No, it doesn't bother me. It just shows their insecurity. You know, that's all right. You know, that's fine. What my father's done in his career,
Derek James's role cannot be overstated as the literal architect of neutralizing Tszyu's strengths while exploiting weaknesses through disciplined excellence in every preparation aspect. He ignores social media hype and press conference trash talk, caring only about fight night performance when lights burn brightest. Having cornered fighters in boxing's biggest moments, working with world champions and Hall of Famers, he knows exactly what elite competition readiness requires. His guidance provides the steady hand Spence needs navigating back to the Boxing World Summit after time away from active competition.
rejuvenated. I hope he is. When he fought Terence Crawford, I felt like he looked a bit dizzy, you know? So I don't know. So hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's at his peak. That's what I expect.
Tim Tszyu fights for far more than record victories, seeking global boxing community respect that has sometimes overlooked him while living in Father Costia's legendary shadow with constant comparisons. Beating unified champion Errol Spence Jr. would cement his own historical place separate from paternal accomplishments, with the hunger only young fighters chasing greatness possess. His consistent activity keeps him sharp and genuinely dangerous to anyone in the division, while training sessions show championship-level preparation with speed and accuracy sharpened to absolute perfection daily. This collision of young lion and experienced champion creates must-watch television for true sport fans who appreciate high-level boxing artistry.
This weekend, bruh, it's not a lot of times that I do what I do and I'm like, well, I can't say it ain't a lot of times, but because I know how good I am, but there's times where I'm like, even I blow myself away. And I mean, the stuff that I did with these guys this weekend, I blew myself away. I'm still talking about it to my lady and everything. I'm still hyped up about it. So you guys be looking out for those interviews. Shout out to Fox Australia, man. They're gonna bless us. They're gonna put together the finished product and they're gonna give it to us so that we can put it on our platform, which to me is amazing. I'm super grateful for them. That fight takes place July 25th over here, 26th over there. And we've been talking about this fight. I think we pretty much knew that it was coming. But now that it's here, you got a chance to interview those guys the other day, or at least be in the crowd of people interviewing them. Did you hear anything, see anything that, make you feel any sort of way? You feel any sort of way at this point?
This isn't simple ring return after time off, but a statement about what remains when hype and promotion clear away completely. Derek James built comprehensive blueprints based on discipline, speed, technical precision, and complete refusal to acknowledge outside world doubts and media criticism. Whether Tim Tszyu can handle immense pressure facing a legendary champion with something to prove and burning reclamation desire is genuinely the million-dollar question everyone asks. Errol Spence Jr. returns not for paychecks or relevance, but to reclaim his divisional throne while silencing everyone who whispered he was finished, done, completely washed up.
It's not an easy thing to talk about. I'm concerned and skeptical of Spence heading into this fight. I think something about his speech, and people say he's always had that Texas drawl. After the car accident, he had to get different teeth put in. And he said that affected his speech too. And I'm reminded of fighters like James Toney, who even when their speech wasn't quite the same at cruiserweight that it was at middleweight or super middleweight, he was still whipping ass and still beating Vasily Jirov and knocking out Evander Holyfield. But you notice the difference in his speech pattern. And with Spence, that's something I picked up on. Other people that I talk to don't seem to pick up on it the way I do. They say, hey, he's Spence. He's always talk chill and everything. I remember a segment of the audience thinking that on fight night against Terence Crawford.
Spencer's preparation secret lies in his completely new training environment and approach, deliberately choosing to train at home in his own city, keeping family close during this critical period. He wants his son to have actual real memories of his presence rather than stranger-told stories or years later videos, creating emotional anchors that provide profound peace and balance, making him more ring dangerous. When fighters achieve genuine happiness and fulfillment outside the ropes with ordered personal lives, they become absolute nightmares inside them, taking care of mental and emotional health to professionally care for legacy, beginning with dominant performance against the Australian star.
It ain't a tune-up, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a good little fight for him. Man been out 3 years. Tim Tszyu been active, former world champion. He ain't going to get nobody we don't know. I can't do nothing but salute him, take my hat off for him, and see how he go to work. I think he gonna be fine. He looked like he's in good shape. He ain't look all out of shape. He looked like, he looked good. He looked mentally all there. And I mean, shit, them little 3 years, like I said, I told him as soon as it happened, I said, okay, he had other stuff going on. Other stuff going on. That was a 5-year accumulation. A lot of stuff he did going through the rigmaroles with Bud, trying to figure out if they was going to fight and building up his reputation and all this stuff. That was a lot. He's been doing this since 2012. That was a lot, so.
Derek James emphasizing consistency and discipline above everything else, believing with absolute conviction that fighter performance directly reflects preparation, discipline, and focus during camera-free grinding sessions. Spence endures relentless drills and explosive mitt work that would break lesser men, crushing will and body while sharpening speed and power until TA won't see incoming punches until too late. James ignores past victories or setbacks, focusing entirely on present moment precision where every calculated movement and crisp combination flows naturally in rhythm, designed to completely overwhelm TA from the opening bell's very first round.
Contact with life too. It ain't just about us and what we want to do and what we want to see. He got a life. He in there, so he did right, and I'm glad to
see him come back.
Did you see if there's like a viral clip of him, Tim Tszyu trying to shake his hand and he's like, nah, I'm not shaking your hand. I've been hearing you talking about you're going to retire me and all that. Did you see the clip?
No, I didn't see that. When they was in the hallway?
Yeah.
Don't pull it up, Neil. It's good. They was in the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what Tim Tszyu supposed to say. So I don't understand why everybody getting upset by stuff they supposed to say. That's what you're supposed to say. You're my, but it's still, we still, you're my peer. You still a fellow fighter. So.
Camp footage released publicly appears absolutely terrifying for anyone in the 147-pound division who might be watching, showcasing Spence unleashing hard punches with raw power and championship-level intensity. His blinding mitt speed blends sharp technique with explosive athleticism, many thought permanently lost after the accident and layoff, while James guides every movement, ensuring flawless rhythm and perfect timing. This isn't the vulnerable version against Terence Crawford, but a refreshed, regenerated athlete grateful for boxing again, who rediscovered his sport love, translating gym joy into terrifying performance levels that should put the entire division on notice.
Right? Use your common sense. That Tim is a PBC guy in the States. These guys are PBC guys. You look for the correct possible matchup at this stage in their carears. It starts to make sense, So, you don't
see it.
How do I see it? I don't know. I mean, Spence hasn't fought in decades, feels like, even Charlo. So I don't know. How do you know what's left out of those guys mentally, physically? You don't know, Obviously with Tim, there's a lot of question marks. He's just come back with a win, but at least Tim is trying to stay busy and active. With those guys, it's hard to say. You haven't seen them. You don't know how their training's going, if their training is even going, and how they are mentally and physically at this point in their life and their careers.
Tim's team copped a lot of criticism, his old team, should I say, about walking him into people like Fundora on short notice, or Murtazalayev unknown, or taking a rehydration clause on the IBF, and things like that.
Tim Tszyu isn't sitting idly waiting for fight night, putting in serious Australian work, showing sharp, high-level mitt work, reflecting his own hunger and dedication. He's been extremely vocal about Spence's perceived Crawford fight vulnerabilities, suggesting Errol looked dizzy and disoriented during his last outing, adding personal animosity layers unseen in boxing for years. Tszyu openly questions whether the sharpness and control once defining Spence remain intact, wondering if he's still the fighter who dominated the division while respecting the challenge but showing no fear of the big name.
So, I mean, yes, you speak about him sitting on, but is it not just rewriting the books again?
With Spence, you don't know what's left. He's not looked very good, so it might be one of those cases where you're catching him at the right time. But then again, Spence may feel that about Tszyu as well, right?
Yeah.
You might catch him at the right time. It's one of those things where the matchup makes sense because both guys might be catching one another at the right time, but you're going to get a winner out of the fight, and the winner can, move on to possibly a title fight, As far as the criticism for Tim and his team, there's going to be a lot of opinions, but the person that has skated the most criticism, that deserves the most criticism.
Today's video concludes here. Stay tuned until next time, as biggest talking points surrounding Spence involve his recent interview speech patterns, with critics claiming noticeable differences since the car accident or Crawford fight, suggesting potential brain damage. Those close to him, like trainer Bernie, dismiss these concerns as nothing, noting his natural slow Texas drawl and different teeth affecting physical speech after the accident, creating controversy where none exists among people desperately seeking reasons to doubt an accomplished champion whose gym mind remains sharp with elite ring IQ.